First today, though, developing news out of Hernando County. Officials announced the results of a 2-year human trafficking investigation today. Among those arrested are an East Lake Fire lieutenant and a well-known restaurant owner here in the Bay Area. 10 News reporter Eric Glasser is live at the Hernando County Sheriff's Office this afternoon. And Eric, you found out this involves a child who was being sold into prostitution.
Unbelievable, Allison. Yeah, very few actual details being released about this young victim in order to try to remain anonymous, to keep her identity to herself and somewhat secretive. But they say that she had been sold into sex for 6 months, and it was 2 years ago today that they actually rescued her and then started working the case backward in order to try to identify the people that were involved. Again, in an attempt to try to conceal the girl's identity and protect that identity, officials wouldn't say much about the person who had trafficked her, but they say it was a legal guardian, a parental figure who should have been looking out for the best interests of that child. Instead, she was not in school. She was being advertised on a now defunct website and driven around the state, they say, to have sex with customers. Among those 9 so-called Johns arrested were 38-year-old Matthew Doyle, a lieutenant with the East Lake Fire Department, and 38-year-old Luigi Barile, a well-known restaurant operator.
Cases like these, as a mother, astound me. They are horrifying, they are tragic. As the chair of the Statewide Council on Human Trafficking, those that are engaging in these activities need to know that this is a priority in this state, not just for my office, but as you can see, to law enforcement, both statewide law enforcement and local law enforcement, to go after the individuals that are participating in human trafficking enterprises and prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law.
7 other men were arrested for having sex with this young victim, who prosecutors say was clearly underage, somewhere between 12 and 16 years old, based on the charges. We're told DCF has now placed her in a far better environment, and over the last 2 years, she is doing exceptionally well. Back in school, learning to play the piano, and considering studying to become a social worker so that she can then help people who have been placed in circumstances like her own. All of this, by the way, we're told, stemming from an anonymous tip, which is why officials, again, took time today to tell us, if you see something, if you hear something that seems out of the ordinary, say something. It could save a life. And in this case, apparently, it did.